Hey folks, we're out on Lake of the Woods, aren't we?
We are.
Where are we?
We are out at Yellowbird Lodge.
We're out at Yellowbird Lodge. We are the recovery couple. I am JB.
And I'm AB.
Which is Jay and Ashley. I just celebrated 13 years clean and sober, and you are?
I'm 17 months. I'm almost a year and a half.
Woo! 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 So today we want to talk about... where did you go?
Right here.
Today we want to talk about being grounded, right?
Yeah, and being.
Just
with,
being.
With self.
Okay, so what does that mean?
I remember, I'll tell you a story. So Jay took me to the city one time to relax. I say that in quotations because I had no idea what relaxing was when I first started in recovery. For me, it was I had to be busy from the minute I got up to the minute I went to bed. So I was filling my time with things and I wouldn't think about using or drinking. What have I found over time is the importance of being with yourself and just stopping, reflecting, and thinking of where you've been to where you are. It's a beautiful process, and it's something that we all deserve to do, which is super important because filling your time with things to do is just you're not growing. For me, that's how I look at it.
So what you've changed is you started training your brain to be positive. You started training your brain to use positive words. You started doing positive things to fill in the gaps of possibly thinking of the negative, possibly keeping you in the rabbit hole, possibly making your committee inside your head, which is, the 24 hotels packed, telling you you're not worth it, you're not this, you're not that, you're not going to be anybody.
Yeah.
So you actually turned that all around and started filling the gaps and the holes in your recovery because you got taught a new way of recovery,
right,
to have fun.
Oh my gosh, that was loud, love. I think though too,
well, isn't recovery about fun?
It is about fun.
So turn with me here. So you got to turn with me. Just follow me. So follow me. This is fun. We're out on Lake of the Woods here in Kenora, Ontario, in the middle of the winter time. She's bundled up 3/4. I'm bundled up, not bundled
up.
up.
3 pairs of pants on,
and
3 shirts, and I'm ready. I'm ready.
And here we are, having the best time of our lives, because we are both grounded in life. We are both grounded in recovery. We are both grounded in the present of which is today.
Yeah.
So you can't think about yesterday because yesterday is gone. You can think about tomorrow, but tomorrow's not even here. So you're just wasting space in your mind. Mm-hmm. All you can do is take in.
Oh, we're going.
Take in.
We're going.
Take in. Take it in. Take it in.
Oh, I'm dizzy.
Take it in. And, the whole object of recovery is replacing all of the negative thoughts, negative thinking, the stinking thinking.
Oh, by the way, that thing will stick with me forever. Stinking thinking. They teach you that.
So what does that mean to you?
Stinking thinking. It's when you're just in a negative headspace. So, for me, one thing that I learned too with just being is I realized I don't have to prove to anybody, so I don't have to be busy all day, all long to show people that I'm...
Okay, re-say that. So you don't have to prove... You only prove to yourself? No, you don't. Both.
Yes,
no.
Yes.
You prove to yourself, so it's all about self.
It is about self. And
so being means self.
Being does mean self. And so I didn't have to prove to anybody that because I was so busy that I wanted people to see me be doing well, right? And that I was busy and I was go.
Pressure on yourself to succeed.
It was exhausting. It's exhausting to do that. So what I've learned over time is that it's okay for me to just sit on the couch, and it's okay for me to just go for a walk, and it's okay to sit in quiet, and whatever that means to you. So it could be with music, could be on Lake of the Woods like we are. It could be, watching TV. It could be listening to your kids. It's whatever quiet means to you, right? It doesn't have to mean just sitting quiet and nothing.
Well, it's actually like sitting with your own thoughts and like sifting through what's going on in one's life in order to figure out where you have to grow, where you have to change, heal, grow. and move forward, right? But most of us people that are addicts and alcoholics have a real hard time with sitting with self, because now we're sitting in pain, and most of us addicts and alcoholics would use to kill pain. So, I wasn't addicted to drugs and alcohol. I was addicted to more. So the more I got, I wouldn't feel pain.
Right.
If I didn't have more, then I'd feel pain.
Yeah.
So the one thing that has to change when you get into recovery is you have to learn to sit with yourself. You have to learn to be in silence. You have to learn to be your best friend. And most of us addicts and alcoholics don't even know who we are. So it's really hard to get to be your best friend and say, you're worth it. I love you, Jay. For Ashley to say Ashley loves herself, and to actually sit there and spend time with yourself. Here we're out on this amazing weekend. We're celebrating everything all in a weekend, as February is a big month for us, because Ashley had her 37th birthday. Ashley had her 17 months. Freshwater Cuisine had its 5-year anniversary. I celebrated 13 years. Then we had Valentine's Day, and then Ashley and I celebrated 365 days together. That's DAYS, not DAZE. Woot, woot, 1 year. And 1 year, the recovery couple has basically been in the public eye, because this is what I wanted to show Ashley. How do you get recovery? So it's really taught her, about being with self. And I think during COVID-19, we're really stuck with being with self. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, I totally agree. There was a time, and it's taken me a long time to get here, where I started with 2 minutes by myself. That's where I started, because that's all I could do. I could only hang out with myself for 2 minutes by myself, and then I'm like, hey, no, I gotta go. Right?
It was so funny, like she said when we went to Winnipeg, and I said we're doing nothing. You should have saw her. She cringed.
I couldn't do it.
Even today, when I was like, what's the rush? What's the rush? We're doing nothing.
That's right, we are doing nothing, and I'm much better. I have a long ways to go, and this will probably be a lifelong thing I learn how to do, but I'm not. So we have to get so much done in a day to feel accomplished. We have to do, my mindset is completely turning around from that. We have to be busy from the moment we get up to the moment we go to bed, to look like we're productive people in society, so we don't look like addicts and alcoholics, that we're in recovery, and that's not okay for me. I need to learn just to be with me and be proud of myself, which I am. I'm very proud of myself today. And, I look at myself where I was, and there was a time where I was so ashamed of who I was, and I was so ashamed that I hid my recovery and that I was an alcoholic and an addict. And
so here's a good opportunity for you to, so Ashley, this is Ashley's second kick at the can. So Ashley did try and get clean and sober one time before this, maybe many a times, but she only honestly tried one time before this. So, what did you have? You had 90 days? 90
days, and I thought I could drink about it and not use, right? So I never thought I was an alcoholic. And it's just been within the last.
So were you even thinking about being in? So here's a good time. So let's, so your experience the first time to the first 5 months in recovery of this time. So anywhere in between there, obviously you weren't being.
No.
So were you still running away from self while in recovery?
I think I was just trying to stay sober. I didn't know, when you come into this, this new life that you have, and, there's suggestions that are given to you. Well, suggestions to me, there were so many of them that I'm a perfectionist in my own way. We all are, I think, in some aspect, that there were so many suggestions that coming at me. I wanted to do them all, and I didn't want to fail, right? Because failure meant I wasn't good enough. Failure meant I was going to use again. Failure meant just a bunch of negatives like that. I just wasn't good enough for my kids. I wasn't good enough to be a mom, it was so spinny.
So it was so overwhelming.
Oh my God, it was
so there's
exhausting.
So many ways to get recovery. There isn't just one way to get recovery. No. There's so many ways to get recovery, and whatever way works for you, that's what you use. And don't let anybody ever tell you not to do it that way, because it's your recovery, it's your journey, it's your personal life. So you have to do whatever works for you.
Yeah.
So it just so happened that, with Ashley, she was getting, all these suggestions, but really didn't know how to sift through it because she was overwhelmed with so much information, which our brain has a hard time processing because we're just trying to get clean and sober. And then she met me, and then I taught her this whole new way, which worked for her.
Yeah.
So my way is not going to work for everybody, but it happened to work for Ashley. And
Yeah.
the thing is that, don't let anybody ever tell you you're doing your recovery wrong, because it's your recovery. If you're staying clean and sober today and you're not picking up today and you got the best life you can live today, then that's proud, and be proud of that. So back to so you started feeling better about yourself. Then you had so many things coming at you, so you're overwhelmed. Then all of a sudden you meet me and you see this new way of recovery. So what was different about what you were getting thrown at you?
You weren't throwing anything at me. I saw you, right? And I didn't know where to place you. I didn't know what to do with you because I didn't believe you, for one. I didn't trust you. I didn't trust myself. But I was looking at him and I'm like, he's genuinely happy. He's enjoying his life. And I, honest to God, didn't think that was possible in recovery, because what I had known was I was just spinning out of control and I would think to myself, this can't be all that recovery is. And I saw him and for me, I wanted what he had. So they say this
So what did I have that you wanted?
You had fun. You had so much fun, and
was I living recovery?
You were living recovery.
Okay, so because I also struggle a lot and have struggled, right?
Yep. Yeah.
The one thing I've never done is get off the journey.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've never done in 13 years is get off the journey. Never once have I ever got off the journey. I've done a lot of silly and stupid and ridiculous things and bad things and situations and stuff like that. But I've never really truly just said, I'm done with this journey. I'm not going to do this journey anymore. I don't want to do this journey anymore. There's a better way of life out there using or whatever like that. The best part of waking up, how does that song go? The best part of waking up is having your recovery in your hand. The fact of the matter is when you live, eat, breathe, recovery. Now, isn't this beautiful, eh? Snow machines coming by. We're on Lake of the Woods, and it's absolutely beautiful. So what I had recovery, and that's what you wanted?
I so desperately wanted it. I saw you had a direction, right? So instead of going like this, because that's what I was doing, I was going forward. I felt like I could move forward one foot in front of the other. And I finally, for the first time in my life, had both feet on the ground. And that was a significant moment for me, because my toe was in and out of recovery. And honest to God, when I met Jay, I didn't know if I was coming and going. And
she was a spinning tornado at my door.
I didn't know if I was.
And I was a hot mess. I was a hot mess.
I didn't know if I was going to stay in recovery, because it didn't make sense to me. And I don't know if I would have made it, and
what's funny is you had three steps done. You had step 1, 2, and 3 when you met me. So you did a step 1, 2, and 3.
And then I stopped.
Then you stopped that step.
I didn't want to do a step 4.
Right.
I did not want to do a step 4. I was absolutely petrified of doing a step 4.
Right, but a step 4 puts you into your being.
Oh my gosh, does it ever? Does it ever? It's a very... You got to relive things, right? And you have to re-feel those feelings. But that's just what they are. They are just feelings.
Oh, so a part of your being is that you learned how to feel.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So being allows you to truly feel, which then, because most of us addicts and alcoholics don't know how to feel, that's what will trigger a bunch of events, which trigger a bunch of, scenarios, which trigger a bunch of, things that just set you off, and then you don't want to deal with it anymore. Mm-hmm. But when you actually sit in your feelings, now this is what I've learned, and I'm sure you've learned the same thing. When you actually sit in your feelings, they actually pass.
They do.
Now it doesn't pass in your time. It passes in whatever time it decides the universe to pass it. And sometimes that could be in 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Sometimes that could be in 10 years. Yeah. For my case, there's been some feelings that have taken 13 years to go.
Yeah.
But the process and the journey is absolutely beautiful when you can come to terms with those feelings, accept those feelings, change those feelings, heal from those feelings, and move forward in a positive direction. The problem happens when we run from these feelings, and most of us addicts and alcoholics run from everything. That's why we can't be in being. Like, most addicts and alcoholics probably wouldn't be able to stand here right now talking like this for 15 minutes. But the fact of the matter is we're in being, right? So what I've learned the most is, you know, when I'm all in recovery, my being is recovery. And when I'm helping myself, I'm helping the universe. And, you know, that's what the recovery couple is all about. We're all about helping. We're all about being there. We're all about sharing. We're all about, you know, sharing our experiences. You know, we may have done a whole bunch of bad things, but that doesn't make us bad people.
Remember that. That's probably one of the first things I ever remember you telling me, and actually sticking and starting to believe in that, is that I may have done some horrible things when I was using and in my active addiction, but it doesn't make me a bad person. You know, it made me a very sick person, a very, very sick person, and a very broken person. You know, the deal is that I don't continue to do those bad things, right? I made a choice, and that's like, I can't even remember before this that I remembered having choices before recovery. I didn't think I had a choice. I thought my life was the way it was, and that's how it was always going to be because of what I've done. And you know, there was a time where I truly did not know. I didn't want to be me anymore. I didn't want to die, but I didn't want to be me anymore. And I was so sick of myself and so disappointed and ashamed in what I have done and who I'd become, that I forgot I had choices.
So, but did the power of change overpower you to stay who you were? So the power of changing and wanting to be somebody different was stronger than the power of staying who you are?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So actually through the powerless situation, right? Because you got to admit that you're powerless.
Yes.
Through that process, you actually learn to, you know, go through the process of, okay, I'm powerless over this and I need to change.
Well, if nothing changes, nothing is going
Oh, another one of mine.
10 points. 10 points.
No, that's a good one. If nothing changes, nothing change.
Or you're doing the exact same thing and wanting a different outcome, right? So I'm guilty for that. I was so
well. Here's a good example. You know, we're going to the room last night, and we just want to let you know that closing times. You know, last calls at 11 o'clock. Oh, we know you don't drink, but we just have this protocol, and you know, what's funny is. For pop, you know, so what's funny is, you know, Ashley and I go to the room, we hang out for a bit, we head down, we have a nice supper, play some shuffleboard, play some pool, go back to the room, you know, listen to some music, have a nice hot tub in our room. We wake up this morning, we crush a workout, you know, we work out together, we crush a workout, head down, have breakfast. You know, now we're out on Lake of the Woods going for a nice walk.
I would have never enjoyed this before. I would have hated this. Like, this would have just been the worst thing in the whole entire world you could have done, to get me outside and to enjoy what we have right in front of us.
Enjoy how quiet life can be when you have no dysfunction, no drama, and no chaos, and you just live inside of being you, because you are worth it. You are so worth it. We are all worth it. But the problem is that you got to believe that. So, you know, Ashley and I believe in you. We know you're worth it. You know, what we know about each other is that, you know, two people in recovery can actually be happy, can be in love, and can break the stigma of mental illness and the stigma wrapped around two people being together in recovery. Because it is possible. Recovery is possible. We do recover, and we're stronger together. So
Absolutely.
if you're struggling out there, just know you're not alone. You're never alone. You're never, ever alone. Ashley and I are here for you anytime you want. You're never, ever alone. So we're out on Lake of the Woods today.
Let's turn.
Yeah, let's turn. We're out here on Lake of the Woods, being in the snow, in the sun, in the wind, this way.
See the lake, not our faces.
Oh, I don't know how to do that. Which button?
Chris, I don't know. No, don't do that. Well, maybe not.
Oh,
Just kidding.
just kidding. Peekaboo! But we're out here on Lake of the Woods. Here, actually, you can see this is where we're at.
Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful. We're the recovery couple. We're taking in life. We're loving self. And we like to close with. How do we like to close? Do you want to do it or do you want me to do it?
You do the first one and then I'll try it.
I would rather live in a tent in love on Lake of the Woods on ice.
Yeah.
Perhaps right there, than in a mansion alone. Remember, you're never, ever, 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 ever alone.
No, 3.
Bye-bye.